Hey everyone, it's Sean, and today's topic is facts versus alternative facts. This is what the dictionary has to say about facts. Fact is a noun, meaning something that actually exists in reality and in truth. For example, your fears have no basis in fact. So a fact is kind of a fact. There aren't two different kinds of facts. There's only one kind of fact, and it's called a fact. However, nothing is ever that easy. So of course, not only do we have facts, but we have a slight variation in how we perceive facts. 2 plus 2 equals 4. Now, a mathematician might say that they could prove 2 and 2 doesn't equal 4, but for the most part, we know if we have 2 apples here and 2 apples there, we have 4 apples in total. But there's another kind of fact. There's a fact which you know to be true, but turns out is not true. And that could be a trivial fact like, let's say, the city of Toronto in Canada is the closest to the US border, which is a fact. Oh, but wait, it's not true. And now that I know it's not true, I know the fact is that it's not the closest city in Canada to the US border. However, the third kind of fact, and maybe the strangest one, is the one that you think is a fact, and when it's proved not to be a fact, you still think it's a fact. These are what we all know now as alternative facts. To understand why alternative facts happen, we have to apply a little common sense and look at how people look at facts. 2 apples plus 2 apples equals 4. We all know that. And the reason we know that is that we have no personal reason to see it any other way. And you've probably heard the saying, I know what I know. But there's also another saying, I know what I know what I don't know, but I don't know what I don't know. Basically what that means is 2 plus 2 equals 4 falls into the category of things I know. Nuclear physics might fall into the category of things I know that I don't know. I know about nuclear physics, but I have no idea how it works. Now the third category of I don't know what I don't know means that there's a subject, there's a science, there's a fact, there is something that I don't even know exists and that I don't know about it. And so those are 3 different kinds of facts that we deal with kind of on a daily basis. But see, this is where it gets tricky because now it gets personal. We also have beliefs and we have biases. And let's go back to dictionary.com and see what it has to say about a belief. Belief is a noun and it means something believed, an opinion or conviction. For example, a belief that the earth is flat. So you can have a belief, like a religious belief, which doesn't require any hard evidence for you to accept it. And now back to dictionary.com to have a look at bias. Bias is also a noun. A particular tendency, trend, inclination, feeling, or opinion, especially one that is preconceived or unreasoned. So we all have personal biases. Things that we hope are true, things we hope are not true, and sometimes those things become very hard for us to distinguish. So on the topic of facts, our beliefs and our biases can influence what we believe is true. But there's a solution to all of this. That solution is to apply simple common sense to everything that you read on the internet, hear on the news, or anything anyone in your life tells you. So the next time that you see that sensational story online that you would love to hit share, stop for a minute and don't share it just yet until you ask yourself a few questions. Do I know the source of this material? Is that source a valid source? Are they an authority on this subject? And is there any corroborating evidence like other websites, other news sites that are reporting the exact same thing, for example? So a news story that you can verify is a fact. A meme might be a bias, and a belief is a belief, and that's a different kind of thing. So all of this to say that in the landscape of insanity that we see online and in our lives every day, there's simple ways to apply common sense to understand what are facts and what are alternative facts, what are beliefs, what are biases, and which of those we should pay attention to. And that all leads to misinformation, which is a huge problem we all have, and I'll tackle that in another video sometime. Now until then, you stay classy, and I'll see you next time.